Welcome back, everyone, to the BGF podcast, episode 19. I'm your host, Gianluca, alongside of
Brandon.
And today we got the week 2 preview, baby. We already went over this Thursday nighter. I believe we both took the Vikings.
Yeah, we got it at 7.5. So
yeah, so I'm in this weekly spreads with my work. It's on Run Your Pool, so whatever the spreads open at, that's our lines. So we got my Vikings, Eagles favorite 7.5. So both went Vikings. That's in our last video. If you want to see the weekly recap of week 1, go check out our channel. It's in the video section right now. But let's get. You want to get straight into this one?
Yeah, and just to be clear, we are recording this on Thursday, so
if things happen,
you're probably seeing this after the Thursday night game. We haven't seen that yet.
No, we have not. So if things happen on the weekend, we're sorry, can't cover it, but I'll be sure to edit something in just to let you know that we saw it. And so let's get right into it. So first up, I got here Tampa Bay Buccaneers favored 2.5 over the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, the Bucs, they looked pretty good last week against your Vikings. The Bears not so much. So at -2.5, a field goal. This is in Tampa as well?
It's in Tampa. Tampa is the home team.
I think I'm gonna pretty easily take Tampa here at 2.5.
I mean, look, you know my thoughts against the Bears. The Bears are a very run-heavy offense. Their pass game is not too strong. And the Bucs last week ate up the Vikings' run game. So I feel like they're going to eat up Justin Fields in the run game. Their secondary is also very, very solid. So I don't think Chicago's going to be able to get much done on offense. On the Bucs side of thing, Chicago's defense is very, very weak. So I feel like Baker's going to be able to get that 2-3 touchdown game. And I can pretty easily see Tampa Bay win this one. So Tampa Bay for me as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for Chicago because they have to look a lot better than they did against Green Bay. Let's see if Justin Fields can get over 150 passing yards. So you're taking Bucs as well?
Yeah, I'll take the Bucs.
Next up.
Second game, we got Green Bay Packers favored 1.5 over the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are home in this one.
They were at home last week. They were at home last week against Carolina.
The Panthers, yeah.
So they're 1-0 right now. Green Bay, both these teams 1-0. Falcons looked okay. I know the scoreline was 20. They won 24-10, 27-10. I didn't think they were as convincing as the scoreline was, and I think Green Bay, as well, had a really big scoreline against Chicago. I thought they looked really good, but how much of that is Chicago being bad, and how much is that being Green Bay being good? You said 1.5, right? So
Green Bay 1.5, so that's 2 points.
I'm gonna take Green Bay here probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Falcons didn't look too convincing, like you said. The scoreline really didn't look like what was happening on the field, so I'm gonna take Green Bay here. I think they have a pretty solid defense. We're gonna see what Jordan Love can do against a somewhat better defense. Jesse Bates last week had 3 picks, I believe, or 2 picks.
Yeah, 2. They looked exactly the same, both of them, against Bryson.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what they do. They have a better secondary than Chicago with A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates. I think that's better than Chicago, so we'll see what Green Bay does. But here, 1.5, I really like the spread. Even though they're on the road, I think it's pretty good for Green Bay.
And also with Atlanta, I want to see them get behind in this game, so they have to pass the ball more, because we didn't really get to see their passing offense much against Carolina.
Bring out Drake London.
Exactly. So hopefully we could see what the pass game's made of there, and we're both gonna take Green Bay here. So far, all 3 matchups we took the same.
Identical.
We need. If you guys didn't know as well, in week 1 we did tie. We did. Hopefully it's not the same story this week.
I mean, hey, we might as well just tie the rest of the year. No, but anyways, moving on. We got Indy right here favored 1.5 over the Texans. That's a very surprising spread to me. Texans are home.
Yeah. And their defense did look very good with D'Amico Ryans now being the head coach there. That's what you'd expect Houston to be very competitive on defense. Their offense was very shaky, I have to say, though. I like Nico Collins. He looked as the alpha on that offense. And CJ Stroud, it was his first game, but not too convincing. I think Baltimore's defense held him in check. It is a good Baltimore defense, so it's a tough test in your first week.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think Baltimore has a better defense over Indy. I think Indy's offense looked better than what people are giving them credit for. So I feel like that offense is going to be able to get things rolling against Houston. I mean, we saw what Baltimore did to them. So I'm pretty easily going to take Indy here, and I'm confident with that one.
I'm unfortunately going to agree as well with taking Indianapolis. And just the only thing here is hopefully Anthony Richardson should be able to play. He did get banged up at the end of that game. He said he was fine. Just we'll see if it does affect him at all, because I'm sure he's going to play through it even if it is. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. And I mean, they love him there in Indy, so he's the only quarterback.
We're both going Indy here. Very similar. So
very similar. This one might be a little different. So we got Detroit favored 5.5 over Seattle. Detroit is at home. Now here's the thing, right? Seattle looked awful in week 1. Geno Smith wasn't able to move the football. Yes, they played a very competitive team in the Rams. Sean McVay is a great head coach. He had his team ready, and you saw it off the gate. Matthew Stafford looked like his old self. He was throwing the ball pretty good. Puka Nacua. Sorry, had a very solid game on offense. The only thing with the Rams, they had no run game. And I think Detroit has a better run game than the Rams. So we'll see what they do on that front. But Seattle's defense looked lost last week. So Detroit does have weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to feast on that defense. Sam Laporta.
And they're going to be coming off a huge win on the road against KC. So they're going to be full of confidence here. Seattle's confidence should be
shocked, yeah. Seattle's going into Detroit. This is their home opener, so
it's going to be a very tough game for Seattle.
5.5 is a big spread for Detroit. That's basically a touchdown and 6 points.
I'm still taking them anyway.
I think I'm going to go Detroit here, but I also would not be surprised if Seattle were to cover this one, because they got to bounce back from that week 1 loss, that embarrassment. Oh, man. You know what? I think I'm taking Seattle here.
Ooh, he stays.
Taking Seattle. I think 6 is a bit much.
Seattle in that first game didn't
really
do
look
much.
Bad.
They were at home too in that game. So now going on the road against a very improved Detroit team, I don't see how. But it is the NFL, so things change week to week.
But here's the thing: Pete Carroll he's been coaching for like 7 years, so he's got to be good. Yeah. He's gonna get this team ready.
I don't know. He didn't get them ready for week 1, so
that's true. Moving on, we got the LA Chargers favored 3.5 over the Tennessee Titans, who are at home. So this one for me was really tough. I like that Chargers offense against Miami, but the thing with the Chargers is they also had no defense.
Yeah, but they did come up against a really good
They did come up against a great offense. Tennessee is a very strong run game. Last week, they made Raheem Mostert look good. So I think Derrick Henry's going to feast. My take. I think the Chargers are going to win this game, but Mike Vrabel likes to make games freaking close. This Tennessee team is always in games. I think 3.5 is a bit much for me. If it was 2.5, I would have liked Chargers a lot more.
Looks like we're differing again.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I'm going Chargers here. I think we saw the offense was very, very good last week.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tennessee's offense is anywhere near the one of
it's not
Miami. We saw Ryan Tannehill throw 3 picks last week. He looked not great at all. It'll be in due time that we'll see Malik Willis under center there. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's got much time left as the starter there, so I think the Chargers are going to take this one pretty easily against Tennessee, and I'm surprised that the spread is out low, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'd have it at like 5.5. I don't think.
Well, Tennessee is home, right? So.
Yeah, but I don't.
Okay, I like it. We're differing twice. I like it. So anyway,
the only thing for the Chargers as well is Austin Eckler probably won't play in this game. It looks he hasn't practiced all week, and I'm not expecting him to play there. So maybe that'll be something to watch out for. But I don't think it's gonna affect it too much.
Maybe they bring in QJ at running back. Who knows?
Even Mike Williams is. I don't know what's the thing with Mike Williams. I know he got injured in the game. I don't know what his status is right now, but.
Chargers are already banged up. What's new?
Yeah, that's another point. So you're going Tennessee?
I'm going Titans here.
I like it. We're 2 in a row that we differ on.
We might differ on this one as well. So we got
I don't even know what I'm looking at for this one.
The Bengals are favored 3.5. They are also at home versus the Baltimore Ravens.
Both teams I wasn't too impressed with last week.
No, I was not. But I was really not impressed with Cincinnati. Yes, it was a rain game. Yes, the circumstances were freaking horrible for Cincinnati. They had no run game. Nothing was working for them. Joe Burrow looked awful.
And I still picked them.
Yeah, we both did. No, you picked them. I took Cleveland. Sorry. Baltimore, on the other hand, Lamar had a pretty bad pick and fumble. He was just holding the ball out here and just got it slapped out of his hands. I don't know. I think division rivals, Cincinnati is going to want to bounce back. I can definitely see them winning this game, but just like the Chargers game, I would have liked this spread a lot more at 2.5.
Yeah, it feels 2.5 since he is like a smash.
3.5 for me is a bit like... Not that it's high. I can definitely see Cincy covering this, but, I think Baltimore is going to keep it competitive. I think Baltimore is going to try to win this game to just sort of have an early advantage in the division. Like, this is going to be a very interesting game, especially for their division. And
especially later down in the year, this is going to play a big factor, this game.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just liking Baltimore here at 3.5. I think it's a little too high for Cincy.
I know we're really early on in the year, but this is kind of a must-win for Cincinnati because you're at home against your biggest rivals in the division. This is kind of the game you need to get. So I think you said the Ravens.
I said Ravens.
Looks like it's gonna be 3 in a row. I'm taking the
That's
Bengals
okay.
here.
I
think
like
people are pretty low on them after seeing last week's performance, and I think I don't know. Hopefully Burrow's back to full health, but yeah. Plus with the rain as well was another factor. I think.
Yeah.
At home they'll be comfortable. I think they'll be able to get a win against Baltimore. Well, cover 3.5. Yeah.
So, anyways, let's move on. We got the Buffalo Bills favored 8.5 over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Bills are at home here. Josh Allen
looked terrible.
Looked horrible on the Monday night. It's a little shortened week for him. Only 5-day rest instead of the full week because he played on the Monday. But either way, you're playing the Vegas Raiders, who actually didn't look too bad against Denver. I was pleasantly surprised with Jimmy Garoppolo on that offense. So I'm kind of excited to see them here. I think 8.5 for the Bills after their performance last week is a bit too high. I really like Vegas covering here.
So yeah, for me the thing is, I think I saw Davante Adams. I think he didn't practice yesterday.
Davante.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, so Davante Adams and Jacoby Myers both didn't practice. So if they're both to be out, that's the thing. We don't know if they're gonna play, and the fact we're on Thursday and they still haven't practiced is quite concerning. So if they're going to be without Davante Adams and Jacoby Myers, who's going to be? Is Hunter Renfrow even?
Listen, the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers after 4 plays.
Yeah, but the
Zach Wilson looked awful.
Yeah, but the Raiders' defense and the Jets' defense is two completely different things in my opinion.
Yeah, so, you know what? Fine, I get that.
It is a high number, 8.5, but I think Vegas is going to be quite depleted here. And I don't like their defense besides Max Crosby, so... I'm going to take the Bills here. That's going to be, 4 in a row that we take different?
We differ, yeah.
You're taking the Raiders?
I'm sticking with the Raiders.
It's a high spread, so...
I think 8.5 is too high. I'm sticking with them. Anyways, moving on. We got the Kansas City... Very interesting game here. Kansas City Chiefs, 2.5 over the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are at home. Here's my thought on this. Kansas City came off a horrible Week 1 loss. Wide receivers couldn't catch the football. Week 2, they're going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a very, very big game for them. The Jags are going to come out strong just because of what happened last year in the postseason. They already played them hard, and now they add Calvin Ridley, a whole other dimension to that offense. It's going to be very interesting to see this matchup. But the Chiefs most likely get Kelsey back.
Yeah, that's a big thing here.
Kelsey on this team, whenever Kelsey is on this team, it's a whole different roster. In my opinion, if Kelsey was playing Week 1, they were winning that game. Mm-hmm. But we can't go back in time. They lost it. And they got embarrassed at home in front of their fans versus the Detroit Lions. So I think they're going to come out here very, very strong. 2.5 is a very doable spread. It's only a field goal, which I like this number. I'm going KC. This
is one where I wish it was 3.5 because it'll make my decision a lot easier. It's like we haven't even seen KC now that Kelsey's going to be there. Yeah. This is going to be a completely different game with Kelsey. Chris Jones signed his... Chris Jones
is back. He signed that 1-year thing.
So, you expect him back in this game. I don't know how many... He's probably going to be on a snap counter. I don't know what.
I think he's back 100%. 100%. I can't even lie.
Yeah, I think this is probably my hardest one of the week. The thing is, I want to go Jacksonville. But my head's like, you should probably go KC. It's probably the smarter move.
Yeah. I don't know. It's up to you, man.
So I'm gonna go KC. I'm gonna agree there. I think that's probably, especially at this number. If it was 3.5, I'd definitely go the other way. It's just I think the Chiefs will probably win this game by a field goal. So,
the field goal is a very nice number for this spread.
Mm-hmm. So I'll stick with KC.
We got a pretty big spread coming up. The San Francisco 49ers, 7.5-point favorites versus the Los Angeles Rams, who are at home.
The Rams did surprise last week. So.
The Rams did surprise last week, but the Niners, in my opinion, had the best complete performance. Like, their offense was firing on all cylinders. They didn't have the best offense because of the Dolphins and the Chargers. But their offense was definitely top 3 last week. Their defense was definitely top 3 as well. Maybe not the best because of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But very, very complete team. Now, the Rams, on the other hand, don't have Cooper Kupp. They don't have a run game. They got Puka Nacua running as your wide receiver 1, and I don't know, Tyler Higbee as a tight end. Doesn't impress me. I think the Niners are going to be able to wrap them up pretty easily, especially with Fred Warner down there in the linebacking core and Talanoa Hufanga over the top. Just locking down that deep game, and I think the Niners are going to just smash the Rams here.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to probably take care of business pretty easily with the Rams, but I'll give them some credit for their win last week. They were, especially with what they have on paper, they were very impressive and showed out. And it just shows that Sean McVay's offense he can scheme an offense no matter who's on the field. So I was impressed with that, but we do own the Rams in the regular season. Like, we beat them the last 7-8 times in the regular season. So I think we're going to be able to cover this. It is like 7.5 is a spread that is kind of scary all the time to take, no matter who the two teams are.
Yeah.
But I still think we'll be able to cover this. So I'm going to take the Niners here against the Rams. And I think our offense and our defense is going to be firing on full cylinders like it did against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Pittsburgh doesn't have a shit defense.
Yeah, and it made it look like they did.
You did.
Only TJ Watt was the only guy that really...
He was a problem, but I mean, he always will be a problem.
No matter who he's up against.
Anyways, let's move on. We got the New York Football Giants, 5.5-point favorites versus the Arizona Cardinals, who are at home.
This is another tough one, in my opinion.
This is very tough. Because, I mean...
How much do we take from that Sunday night game?
There was rain. The ball was slipping. They were very unlucky with the missed field goals. I can't even lie. I was very unlucky. Mm-hmm. The first drive was a killer for them, but that first drive, they did look pretty impressive. Just went downhill after that. Now, the Cardinals, on the other hand, to me, were very surprising. You're coming up against the Commanders' offense. Yes, they have a rookie quarterback, second-year quarterback, it's Sam Howell, who... First NFL game, didn't look too great. Wasn't too impressed with his performance. Brian Robinson didn't really do much on the ground. He had his carries, but if it wasn't for that touchdown, his numbers weren't great.
Yeah.
Now, Saquon is the better running back. This New York Giants team is a very run-heavy team. I think they are going to be able to get it done against Arizona. I just don't like the 5.5. I think that's a bit high.
Yeah, I agree. I think Arizona's offense kind of impressed me in that game against Washington. They utilize the players that they have, like Hollywood and Rondale Moore, who are big play guys, yards after catch guys. So I think they utilize them pretty well and use their playmaking abilities well enough, and I think they're going to be doing that again against the Giants. The Giants, I think that really was just a momentum swing that game, and once those 2 defensive touchdowns were scored, I think they were just like discouraged.
Depleted, yeah.
And the game was over mentally for them there. I think they can bounce back against Arizona. Can they win by 6 points is another question in itself. That I don't know. The Commanders beat them by what, a point?
I believe it was... no, I think it was more than a point. But it was... Actually, let me check. It might have been a point. Sorry, boys. We're doing some technical analysis here. It's 4 by 4. 20 to 16. 4.
This is that. You know what? It's probably the unpopular pick. I'm going to go for the Giants. So I think...
I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I have a hard time trusting Arizona. That roster just on paper is so bad that any given week these guys could just get destroyed. So,
but for whatever reason, the Cardinals love Gannon, their head coach. They love this man. They play for him and it showed last week. So we'll see what they do against the Giants. I like it though. We're different.
You're taking Arizona?
I'm taking Arizona.
Yeah, this is one where I could see it going either way. I'm not too. This is not a game I'd be betting on.
No, and moving on, we got the Dallas Cowboys 9.5-point favorites versus the New York Jets.
This is one I'm considering for the survivor pick.
I was considering. I have 3 games in mind for the survivor pick.
It's just I don't know if I'd like Dallas is such a good team that I don't know if I'd want to save them for later on. That's the only thing with this one.
Yeah, but yeah.
And we know the Jets defense is very good, so they can always give you a.
They can always make it close. I think the thing with Dallas last week, we really didn't see their offense.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott didn't look too great. I think he was throwing at just around 50%, no touchdowns. Tony Pollard looked pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Did they throw the ball like 13 times from whatever?
No, he had like 13 completions. 20-something passes.
Okay.
So that was his thing. But yeah, no, the I really don't know what Dallas's offense is like other than Tony Pollard being legit. And this New York Jets team has a very, very good defense. It's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Which offense can move the ball more? Because they're both solid defenses. I think 9.5 is a bit much. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is not there, but just look at last season, the New York Jets. Their defense was keeping them in every single game. So I definitely see it happening here again.
The Jets.
9.5 is high. That's like a touchdown and field goal.
It's just I don't know how that offense is going to score, man.
They don't need the offense to score. Special teams.
Yeah, I think they're just relying on the defense a lot, man.
Early on in the season, I don't mind it, but later on, I feel like they're going to get tired.
You know what? I think he swayed my. I think he swayed, man. I'm gonna take the Jets because it is just to score 10 points on that Jets defense is already a tough. It's tough enough. So, and I think Zach Wilson, as bad as he is, I think they'll be able to
get 1 or 2
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
I mean, I think they'll be able to still score. Brees Hall looked electric every time they touched the ball last week. So
look, Micah Parsons, this Dallas D-line is going to be a problem, but Brees Hall's going to bust out those runs and just keep the offense moving, especially now that he's going to get more carries as the season progresses. Excited to see that one.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets here. This is I don't think I'm going to be taking this one actually on my survivor pick. So.
Moving on, we got the Denver Broncos, 3.5-point favorites over the Washington Commanders. Denver at home. This is a very tough line for me. I let you handle this one.
I wasn't impressed by either team here. It feels like Denver weren't they 3.5-point favorites last week?
Yeah, too? I think so. Or 2.5 for.
They're always at 3.5. These guys. The Commanders. We talked about them earlier when we went over Arizona's game. Not too impressive. Sam Howell. I'm not too convinced. There's a lot of receivers I like on that team, and seeing his performance last week wasn't too satisfying. I'm gonna go with Denver here. I think we saw in the first drive of the game with Denver, Russell Wilson. He looked very solid. Denver's offense, just in general, looked solid on that drive. The rest of the game, not so much. It's just the thing with Russell Wilson. I want to see him throw the ball deep. That was always what made him successful in Seattle. So I'd like to see him test the deep ball a bit more. Washington does have a good defense though, so that could be a problem. But I'm still gonna go with Denver here. 3.5 is a tricky line. I would usually take it safe and go Commanders, but it is at home for Denver, and the Commanders really didn't put any hope for me in their first game of the season. So I'm gonna go with Denver here at 3.5.
Yeah, no, and I was just checking a report. Chase Young is not healthy. They're not expecting him to play until week 3.
Chase Young, I have that guy. I don't even think about that guy when I think of the Commanders' defense anymore. That guy's always out.
Yeah, no, like I think you pretty much covered it. That I originally took the Commanders here just to cover the spread, but Commanders team did not impress me, especially against the Cardinals, who aren't a good football team. Playing Denver, who has a legit defense.
They have weapons on offense as well.
They have weapons.
I don't know if Judy's gonna be
Sean Payton kept the offense very simplistic for Russell Wilson, which made him, very efficient as a passer. We'll see if he expands on that. I think he has a chance here to just beat the Commanders and gain some momentum.
He was moving well in the pocket, which was pretty.
It was nice to see, Old Russ, maybe, I don't know, not Russ Inc., but yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go Broncos here, 3.5.
We're back to agreeing.
Yeah.
I'll put you down here.
And then the Sunday night football game. The Miami Dolphins favored 2.5 over the New England Patriots, who are at home. Patriots really impressed me last week.
Yeah, they did. They played the Eagles very close, and I think they probably should have won that game, in all honesty. I think they were the better team.
Now, Miami's offense, very, very explosive. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are speed demons on that offense. They catch the football, the yak is there. New England's defense, I think, is better than the Chargers by like a pretty big margin. So I think they are going to be, they're going to keep the game close. New England's offense, on the other hand, Mac Jones looked really, really good last week. I have to give it to the guy.
Especially with the lack of options he has receiving.
He threw for 300 yards against the Eagles, who are some argue the best defense in the NFL.
Nah.
I don't agree with it either, but you know.
There's an argument though.
So I feel like if Mac Jones, if we're going off that momentum, he's going to be able to do that again, and he's going to be able to get this offense rolling. And if the New England Patriots can somehow bottle up Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on a few drives, I know they won't be able to contain them all game because these guys are going to work, but you know, just a few drives, get them off of the field, not score every time. The New England Patriots are winning this game.
Yeah, that's controversial. I don't know, but I think people are just kind of hyped up on that New England performance. Mac Jones hasn't shown me anything in his career to really show that he could do this week in, week out, especially with a lack of weapons like that. And I think even New England, their defense, like it's a good defense, but Miami's offense is like next level. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, these are guys.
Hey,
that are
listen,
tough,
I'm
tough
riding
runners.
the New England train, baby. Christian Gonzalez looked good. Matthew Judon looked good. Everyone looked good last week, so I'm going New England here.
Nah, I think people are just kind of overselling that Philly game, so I'm gonna go Miami here.
I like it.
And even one thing though with Miami that does scare me is their defense was not great. We saw Xavier Howard showed again why he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Man, he took a lot of pass interferences, legal contact. He was getting
he costed the Dolphins a few drives.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not a fan of him, but I still think Miami. I think their offense is going to be able to do enough to get them to win here.
I don't hate it. I think New England is covering the spread and winning this game.
Yeah, winning, that's controversial. Are you confident enough to take them as your survivor pick?
As a survivor pick, no.
Yeah, obviously.
But I mean, if I would place it, I would probably put this as a little underdog bet. You know.
Yeah, I could see it.
Anyways, we have two Monday nighters this week. New Orleans Saints 2.5-point favorites over the Carolina Panthers, who are at home.
I was saying that these games weren't that exciting, but you know what? Looking at it, they're actually pretty interesting games.
They're interesting. Like, we have questions on both these games. So what do you think about this first one?
Yeah, New Orleans, Carolina, divisional game. Carolina, like I expected in the first game, wasn't too great. I think that the offensive line didn't look great. The weapons that Bryce Young has to throw to, not great at all. I think Bryce Young looked pretty decent. Like, he looked solid. Those two picks that got picked off by Jesse Bates were obviously not ideal. But I think overall in his first career game, he looked not bad. But I think New Orleans, they have a pretty solid defense. And their offense, especially their three receivers, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and Michael Thomas looked really good in week one. So I think they'll be good enough to beat Carolina. I know Carolina does have a good defense with guys like Brian Burns, who looked solid week one. J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, they got good pieces. But I think New Orleans will be good enough to cover at 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think New Orleans is gonna get the 2.5 done. Carolina's offense has to show me a little more. I want to see what they do against New Orleans. Was a pretty solid defense. If they're able to move the football, whatnot. But I think New Orleans at this point in the season is gonna be able to bottle up that Carolina offense and just take this one pretty easily at 2.5.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know with Carolina. I think they're gonna be probably bottom of that division, to be honest.
Yeah, and get a weapon on offense. Help out Bryce Young. Maybe something on the O-line to give him time.
It's just, I feel bad for that defense though, because these guys have been solid for the last 2-3 years, and it's just they just never have had an offense to.
I know.
To help them out,
especially now, to the Vikings.
Especially now without DJ Moore, really nothing happening on that offense.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the last game of the week, the second Monday nighter. Cleveland Browns 1.5-point favorites over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are at home. Now, this is an interesting line. I don't understand why it's so low.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a trap.
Because it is... it's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh. It is at Heinz.
I don't know. Cleveland, I know the scoreline looked really big. 24-3 was?
Yeah, 20... Something
it was something like that. But the offense didn't look, super good. I think... I just think that game was kind of a wash. But yeah, Cleveland, they were alright. Their defense looked really good though. That I'll give it to Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. They all looked really good against a very good Cincinnati offense. So I think that gives them the edge here. I don't know, Pittsburgh, they're going to look to bounce back after they got absolutely embarrassed on their home turf last week. I'm going to go Cleveland. 1.5, I think this is kind of a line that you can't pass up on. I think you got to take Cleveland here at 1.5. And I think, honestly, Cleveland has a chance at winning that division this year.
I think I'm going to agree with you here. I like that line for Cleveland a lot. Nick Chubb is going to absolutely dominate every single game this year. We saw what McCaffrey did last week against the Steelers. They're obviously different running backs, but Nick Chubb is just as great, and he's going to be able to get his work done. That's their whole offense right there. He had like 18 carries last week. So if Pittsburgh is able to somehow bottle up Nick Chubb and make Deshaun Watson pass the football, he didn't look too great. He had some instances where he shined, but I mean overall he went like 16 for 29, barely hitting over 50%, 154, touchdown and a pick. Not a great stat line. You obviously want to see more from Deshaun Watson. Maybe he's still rusty. I don't know when we can start saying he sucks. But 1.5 here I think is good for Cleveland. They're coming off a strong win against Cincy. If they beat Pittsburgh, they're going to really take a stranglehold on this division. 2 division wins early on in the season is huge. And but I do think this is going to be a very, very gritty affair. I can see Cleveland winning by a field goal and just being a very, very low-scoring game. Like, my tie-breaking points I have here is 28. I don't think they're scoring a lot of points in this football game.
28 for the whole game?
For the whole game, for both teams.
Yeah, that's
It's like 14-14, that's 28. Field goal, 17-14, that's the game.
Yeah, no, I'd take the over on that.
Yeah?
That's very low.
Anyways, that's what I have. What do you said Cleveland as well, huh?
Yeah, I said Cleveland. So
right.
We do have some different ones. Just now we gotta go for the survivor pick. You said you had 3 games in mind. What were they? Because I'm really not decided right now.
So one of my games I have is Indy over Houston.
Yeah, I could see that.
Then I also have the Bills over the Raiders and the Niners over the Rams.
Yeah, Niners. The Niners are a type of team I'd like to keep for later.
The Niners are a type of team I'd like to keep too. Indy, for me, looks like the pick, but if...
You know what? I think for me, I'm going to go Tampa.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that either.
I don't know how many times I'm possibly going to take Tampa later on in the year, and I don't think Chicago's going to come close to winning that game. So, for me, I'm going to take the Bucks here.
I don't hate that line. I'm really struggling for this one. I think I'm going to just take the safe bet right now and take the Niners.
We're taking the Niners?
I'm taking the Niners.
I respect that.
So, I mean, look, we'll see how we do. So far, we're both alive for Survivor. This is the longest I've ever been alive.
Week 1. You always get the week 1 curses.
Last year I went for them Niners, baby. Got absolutely demolished against the Bears.
So you don't like picking against the Bears anymore?
I like shitting on the Bears, and I feel like it's deserved. Mm-hmm. But whenever I pick against them,
it doesn't go well.
It bites me in the ass. So I don't know. I hope for you they win. I think Tampa should win this game, and
hopefully they don't flop. I hope
the Niners should also win this game.
Yeah, because you don't need. It's not like you need the 8.5 anyway. You just need to win. So we should be, or no, 7.5.
7.5, yeah.
So we should be able to win that. And yeah, I think it's gonna wrap it up for this week. We're gonna do our recap on Sunday or Monday? We'll see. We'll get it out at some point next week.
Yeah, I'll try our best. We'll try to get it out before Wednesday. We'll do our best for that one. We've got to figure out scheduling and stuff. You know, we're both working and in school, so. But anyways, love doing these videos for you guys. It's a lot of fun, and hope you guys enjoyed. Especially having these Pickem games makes it a lot more enjoyable, and when we're watching the games, you want the teams that you pick to win, so it makes it a lot more fun. No, for sure. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, and hit the bell so you get notified. Mm-hmm. But anyways, have a great day, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya. Bye.